So for my next automotive project, I'm going to be doing the vehicle of the best Texas Ranger of all time. Well, sorry, Nolan, it's not you. Yes, you are the best Texas Rangers baseball player of all time. We're talking about lawmen. Here we go. The best Texas Ranger of all time of law enforcement rangers. You may think that that's Walker, and yeah, the two look a whole lot alike, but actually this is J.J. McQuaid. A lot of people call him a lone wolf. There are plenty of YouTube channels with great modelers who have great production skills. This is not one of them. Welcome to Cable's Creations. Well, I finally got the body to a point where I could feel good getting some body paint color down. Got some few coats of white on it, and also got the hood and rear door done. Actually, the white's come through a lot better on them than it is on the body, but I think another thin coat or two on the body, and then I can start doing some clear coat and working on some of the other parts. And doing some of those other parts means wiring. Oh boy. All right, new modeling supplies. Guitar strings. Yes. So these will become, or at least two of them will become antennas, and gonna hang on to them. They can be antennas on like tanks in the future. Look forward to showing you how that works as we get to that part of this build. All right, that's the tailgate and the hood. There's the main body. Just want to get some really good white coverage, and not going to get too worked up about getting a perfect paint job like ordinarily would on a car, because well, it's going to get covered up with a whole bunch of mud anyway. Well, adventures and misadventures in 3D printing. My brush guard came out well. I had a little problem with this light bar. Need to just make some adjustments on dimensions. And the lights, well, got the basic geometry right, but there's issues with the hollowed parts and some places printing out solid. I'm gonna do round 2 of some of these others real soon. Well, I think I'm almost done with white coats on this exterior, but need to get a little bit more white on the interior. I think the hood and tailgate are good, and then need to go redo some of the 3D printing on the brush guard, light bar, and lights. 3D printing take 2. Well, as you can see, that's closed off. I had some measurements that were a little bit wrong to work with the model parts I had, so I went back into the program and changed them, and it looks like some things reverted back to old measurements. So, but luckily the light bar and the light bar plugs did work, so I'm going to have to rework on the lights. I think I might just take my measurements, start from scratch. being faster and more successful to do that than try and change things, because just with the program I'm working with called Onshape, that just starting over might be the easiest thing to do.
Although I'm in Oklahoma, I'm 3D resin printing, not running a meth lab.
Well, this is, besides the 3D printer, this is my on the cheap wash and cure station. Just use a piece of Tupperware and spray it down with isopropyl, catch it in this, and this is after I take it off the build plate. After a good wash, put it on a paper plate, and the cure part, this UV flashlight that I got from Harbor Freight. This is just an initial doing. I'm gonna need to turn that one back over on its side. But actually what I try to do is sit this out in the sunlight to get the UV rays for them that way. And actually, since this is Oklahoma and it gets a little windy, earlier today was the first time I've had it happen to me that this paper plate started blowing around. I'm thinking about just getting a cheap metal dish. They do make wash and cure stations. I could easily afford one. The problem is, for me, is where do I store the thing and where do I put it? You know, just as is, you know, with my bench right there, and that's where I store the 3D printer when I'm not using it. Where am I going to keep a wash and cure station? And if I do the 3D printing as is, while I'm printing, I can't do any modeling. So a lot of times what I try to do is set up the model, the 3D printer to print at night. That also gives it a long time for any of the resin to drip off of the build plate. I kind of prefer to let it go at night. Even with the UV treatment from this little flashlight, I'm gonna try to let it get some UV rays from the sun tomorrow. And while I'm at it, just give this an initial kind of UV, and also this I'll set out in the sun with the lid on it so that it doesn't just evaporate out. And what happens is any of the resin that's suspended in this alcohol will start to solidify, and I can strain it out and keep using it. There we go, recycled IPA. I can use that for, you know, further cleaning or you know, do other things with it, but not, I wouldn't necessarily use that as my first round cleaning. You know, maybe just let it soak in some of the stuff. Who knows? You know, brush cleaning, other kind of stuff, but I wouldn't use it for like thinning some of my Tamiya paints. But just from looking at them, I think third time's the charm, and I'm gonna get these various parts. I printed plenty of extras in case there's issues with putting them together. Those square ones are going to be fog lights. I've got some to fit on the light bar on the top, some that will be fitting onto the brush guard. Also, one thing I discovered, some of them, like one of the knobs, I'm going to use it the ones that go on the brush guard. Like one of the fitting points, I discovered that I had them going the wrong way and tried to take them off, and the CAD program was having a fit, so I decided, you know, it's going to be just easier to add on the knob in the direction it's supposed to go and just saw and file off the part where it's not going to go. And that's also going to be kind of hidden in the back where it's going to be really hard to see. Well, didn't get quite as much done as I'd hoped this week. A lot of it ended up with doing and redoing the CAD for the light bar and the lights and the brush guard, but I think I finally got them where it works. I also got some white coats onto the body. Still need to get a couple on the interior, and then can do some gloss coating and decals. And then I can start working on, you know, putting things together. I'm thinking with this light bar and lights, and start doing some wiring. Well, that's something I'm kind of looking forward to. Well, until next week, showing you mine to hopefully make you feel better about yours.